Yes, sir. How
First
y'all
question.
doing?
Sure. First question is going to come to you from Brian Howe from the camera.
Hey, Frank, nice to see you. Just curious, as you're starting your third season here, you were thrown into the fire a couple years ago, got that redshirt year last year. How much did you maybe benefit and learn from maybe taking a step back last year, working on your body and being able to learn a little bit?
I learned a lot. I mean, I was definitely able. I think developing my body was the biggest thing. Because my freshman year, I was about 262, and now I've been able to get up to about 295. And that weight makes a huge difference when you're playing against these big D linemen at this level.
And as a follow-up, Coach Rod was talking about, he said you've kind of got a ways to go to learn the system and some football techniques, things like that. Where do you feel like you are in that regard? And he said you'll get there by the end of camp, but where do you feel like you are right now?
I feel like today actually was a really big day for me. I understood I locked in some concepts that I had been struggling with earlier. I definitely still have some ways to go because this system is a lot different than it was last year, which I was definitely more comfortable with last year's system, but I'm getting there this year, and I plan on being a master of this offense by the time we start the season.
Henry Chisholm, DNVR.
Hi, Frank. So far in practice, I know you guys have only had a couple days in pads, but has there been anybody in particular on that defensive line that you've enjoyed going up against?
I mean, I like going against everybody, honestly. I wouldn't say I have a favorite to go against, although it is fun to go against Jeremiah because he's my roommate in the hotel. So I kind of like talk about it afterwards.
Okay, Hart Pizzani from Sterling.
We were talking to your coach, and he was saying that he felt like as a whole, y'all are farther along in terms of pass protection than run blocking. How do you think you're progressing in that area, and how do you think the rest of the line is doing?
I'd say we're probably even in both, in my opinion. But I mean, if he feels that way, has been.
Okay, next up, Brian Howe.
So, Frank, you've been here 3 years now, 3 different offensive line coaches. How much of a challenge has it been, but also how much has it helped you maybe to grow as an offensive lineman?
Well, it's definitely been a challenge. I mean, having to completely, learn a new offense every year, get to know a new coach every year. But I mean, I think it is beneficial that you get to see different perspectives on the way the game is played and the way things are coached. And you can kind of put all those things together to really work on your own personal style, your own personal preference to how you want to play.
And then you're one of several guys that don't have a ton of experience, but they're all competing for starting jobs. How's that competition going? And, for yourself, like Casey Roddick, Cannon Ray, lots of guys are competing. I mean, kind of give me your impressions of the competition going on there.
Well, I think we have a lot of good players that are competing for spots. I mean, we have our starters, Will, Kari, Colby, Casey, and myself, and then Kanan is just right up there with us, and same thing with Austin Johnson. I mean, we have a lot of guys competing for these spots, and it's really competitive right now.
Back to Hart Pizzani. Can't hear you, Hart.
Hear me?
There you are.
Sorry about that. In terms of building trust with your fellow offensive linemen and building trust with the guys in the backfield, how do you think that process is going?
I think that the trust is very strong because we have had to stick together through all these coaching changes, and I think with that happening, it's brought the team closer together. I mean, every year, every coaching change, it seems like the team gets closer and closer and closer, and in turn, you get this trust between the players.
And one more from Brian Howell.
Just one kind of general question for you. You guys have now been in the hotel for about a week. How is that going? How's the team kind of adjusting to that little bit of a bubble, and are you enjoying it?
I'll be honest with you, I'd rather be at home, but I understand why we're doing it, and I understand it's important. At this point, I think we're all used to it, but the first night or two are definitely a little weird.
You probably don't get a room around the hotel. You're probably stuck in the room, right?
Yeah.
Any other questions for Frank? Looks like we're good. Frank, thanks for joining us. We'll see you down the road.
All right, thank you.
All right, gang. So we will reconvene tomorrow. I am not sure. I've seen the grid. It looks like around 11:30 is when we'll end, but you may want to literally, I know how scrimmages go. You may want to just jump on around 11 and just be in the room in the area, and you hear me yell, "Hey, we're here!" Come back to your computers. So, and it could be as late as noon too. So it's just that's how it is with scrimmages, as you all know. So,
All right.
if there are no more questions, thanks for joining us today.